People have been telling me that they listen to these to hear me talking about stand-up comedy, and I've usually started to kind of put stand-up comedy towards the back of the podcast and thought I'd talk about other things first, make it a bit more interesting. But now they're saying that, I guess I should talk about stand-up at the top of the show, so why don't we do it? Last week, Wigan was the only show that I did. I wasn't well last week, as you saw on the podcast. I struggled to make it to about 20 odd minutes. I was coughing. I felt like I was being disgusting to you guys by coughing and be like, clearing my throat and stuff like that. I'd have to go off camera over here to blow my nose because I didn't want to do it all on camera. I tried to be as good as possible with you, but either way. Oh, 1 second. Is this starting to slip? Let's just move this back up. There we go. That should be fine there. So, excuse me. So yeah, one gig last week, Wigan, Fat Bird, which is quite near the train station in Wigan. In fact, there's two train stations in Wigan. You're probably thinking, if you're not from the northwest, why has Wigan, such a small place, got two train stations? Well, to make it even more confusing, both train stations are on the same street. They're about a 90-second walk from each other with no traffic in the middle of the road. Like, if you were to go there at like 3 a.m. in the morning, you could just walk across. Well, then again, the zombies of Wigan are out because the nightlife is actually, it's quite thriving in Wigan. It's quite a thriving place to be out of a night. And I was there on the Friday night, and there was just loads of people around. The nightlife in the UK, it's on the decline, isn't it? People are spending more and more, I mean, probably around the world, but people are spending more and more time at home. It's costing a lot of money to go out as well, and we've got so many things to do at home that people aren't going out as much. But Wigan, I don't think they've got electricity or internet yet, so they're still popping out and, spending nightlife and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, two train stations on one street, it always confuses me. It's not too bad when you're coming into Wigan, but when you're leaving and going back out of Wigan, I never know where my train's going to be, and I don't want to go to the wrong station. You get to the platform, like, oh crap, I'm supposed to be the other one. It's only 90 seconds door to door, but I've got to get from platform up to the door, then back to the door, then to the platform and all that stuff. So it can be a little bit confusing. And I think Wigan's the first place I ever went on the train, to be honest with you. I went back when I was a kid because one of my mum's friends, I was going to say one of my mum's parents, no, one of my mum's friends, Diane, or Auntie Diane, my mum would say, call her Auntie Diane, will you? She was from Wigan. So we'd go and visit her quite a lot, and we'd pop up on the train, me, my mum and my sister, we'd go and visit her and all that kind of stuff, and that was fun. Anyway, so I was there this week, Fat Bird in Wigan, and it's like a music lounge. It's got like a purpose-built stage, and it's got like a bar area and that kind of thing, and I wasn't too sure what to think of it, to be completely honest with you, because it's one of the Frog and Bucket satellite shows, so it's run by the Frog and Bucket, but not at their venue. And it's a great business move, a lot of these businesses do this kind of thing where they have their home base where they do like all their business, and then they'll have satellite outfits where like they'll run whatever their business is there every now and then, and this is what they do. So they run comedy shows at Fatbird in Wigan. And I can't remember if I said this last time, but basically when they booked me, they let me know that they've requested me to be on the lineup. The people from Fatbird have requested me to be on the lineup. Now, one of my mates, John Unsworth, shout out to you, John. I'll probably send you this and be like, hey, John, I mentioned you. John's a good guy. John's helped me get gigs in the past. He helped me to run a gig in the past, actually, in Hindley, when I first ran a gig in Hindley at a place called Formby's. That all came about because I was running one show in Bolton, and he messaged me and was like, why don't you run a gig in Hindley? I know some people who own a bar, and they'd probably love to have you. So we went down one day, me and Matt, who run gigs together, Comedy Loft House. We went down to Hindley. John was there as well. He introduced us to Ebony, the lady who was running the place. And together we kind of like came up with an agreement that we'd, do like monthly shows going forward. And it was really successful for the time, and we really enjoyed doing it. It was just tough to just, in the long term, get people to come every single month. That was the tough thing, and especially because it was getting to a biting point where I wanted to not just run gigs, I wanted to kind of get seen by more people. I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to get out there, get better at doing that, not just the MCing part of things. So it kind of became a weird time and then faded away and faded out. But yeah, shout out to John. Massive out with that. Good lad. We've been friends for probably, more than 10 years now. It's mad to think that how long we've known each other. In fact, we used to work together. Here's a story about John. We used to work together. And I remember my last day, John was off. He weren't supposed to be in the office. And then he messaged me, be like, oh, I'm coming in. And I thought, he's coming in to see me on my last day. And then I thought, I bet he's coming in because like they got me a present and he's bringing it in or something. And then that's exactly what it was. He was supposed to buy my present and bring it in, and he thought, I'll bring it in on his last day even though I'm not in. And fair play to him, because I don't think on anyone else's last day, if I wasn't in work, even if I was supposed to buy the present, I'd probably bring it a day before or something. Go, hey, well, give this to Mikey McMichelson here. I've gone and bought him all this stuff. So yeah, big shout out to John. Good lad, good lad. In fact, he's funny, to be fair. He's funny now. I did mention to him ages ago, we were discussing about him doing stand-up, and he did want to do it, and I think he's always kind of wanted to do stand-up. But he's a singer-songwriter, he's like a guitarist, and he likes to go and sing and all those kind of things. And I'll be honest, it's an easier life than being a stand-up, because one, you don't have to consistently think, right, like, for example, I can't have a bad night and go, do you know what, tonight I'm just going to play the Killers and Oasis and just give the audience exactly what they want and just play all that stuff for. I can't do that. I've got to be myself. I've got to do my own jokes all the time. I can't just be like, do you know what, I'm going to be Peter Kay tonight. Garlic bread, guys, garlic bread. My mum wants a bungalow. No, so I can't do that. So it's an easier life in that sense, being a musician. And also there's like loads more work when you are on the kind of like semi-pro kind of level as a musician. Because if you've got a good reputation and you're decent, which John is good, and he's got a good reputation to go alongside it, people want to offer you work, because they'll pop you in like the corner of their room. You can just sit there and play music for a few hours. Meanwhile, a stand-up comedian, you can't really do that. You can't just put me in a corner and have me do stand-up for 2 hours in a corner of a room. Because if people aren't listening to me, like, you get nothing out of stand-up. Stand-up's not background noise. It is very poor background noise, whereas music is really good background noise. Anyway, that's John. So if you need a singer-songwriter, hit me up. I'll introduce you to my mate John, and he'll come and do it for the right price. There you go, John. I'll be your agent. Maybe that'll be my second job after stand-up. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to Fatbird because they've requested me. Now, when I hear that they've requested me, it's kind of ticking around my head. Like, why have they requested me? Like, how do they know who I am? Because I've got like, I would call it a moderate following online. It's probably like 80 odd thousand followers between like all the stuff and stuff like that. But even though that many people follow me, I never think in day-to-day life, oh, there's people out there who want to see me. I just never think that. I don't know whether it's just me being in my own head, or whether it's just like stand-up comedians who are a little bit weird like that. But it's just not in my mind to think, or that there's people out there who might want me to perform at their place of work, and they run an entertainment venue. But yeah, that's what the Frog and Bucket told me when they booked me. They said they've requested you to be on the lineup. I thought, brilliant. I mean, doesn't matter to me either way. When I get a booking, like, I'll look at the fee, where it is, and that kind of thing, how long they want me to do, and if all that kind of matches up, and if I've got the availability, then you do it, right? It's like anyone else in a kind of self-employed venture. If you're offered work and they go, hey, come and build this wall for me, I'll give you $3,000, and it's going to take you this amount of time to do it. And if you've got the availability, go, oh, okay, I'm a wall builder. They're not called that alley bricklayers. I'm a bricklayer, I'm a wall builder. And I'll go and build your wall. Anyway, so that's what they said. And so then I'm thinking, like, okay, who's done it? Maybe John gigs there, and he's found out that they've got stand-up on, and maybe he said something to them, being like, hey, you should get my mate Adam on here, he's really, really good. And then they've taken that on board and then gone, yeah, we'll do it. So anyway, I go there. And the lineup is do you know what? This very rarely happens to me anymore. It was a lineup of people, and I've not gigged with any of them before. And I love that. I love that happens, because when you first start stand-up, it's all the time. You're meeting loads of new people, and at the same time, you see the same people every week as well. So it's a nice mixture of like familiarity, getting to know the people that you already know, but also always seeing new acts. And then when you break onto the professional lineups, you're gigging with people who've been doing it decades longer than yourself. So it's all people that either you've seen off telly, or it's people that like you might have never heard of, and you go, wow, this person's a gem. How the hell have I not heard of this person before? This person's fantastic. I'll use Tony Burgess as an example. I think Tony Burgess is absolutely incredible. I love Tony Burgess. Steve Shenyaski, I use those two, and those are my two favourite guys on the circuit. The people who I didn't know before I started stand-up. I gigged with them both once, and I was like, wow, they're incredible. Then every time I gig with them after that, I'm like, it just sinks in my mind more and more how good they are on stage. So anyway, that doesn't happen to me as much anymore, because I've been doing it for so long now that I either I've gigged with them before, like directly, as in like we've both been there at the same time, or we've at least been on the same lineup and I've left before they've got there, or vice versa. The three acts on this lineup, I don't think I've even been on a lineup with any of them. So open up, it was Karen Bailey. Karen Bailey was on, and I'd heard the name before. In fact, a friend of mine, Alex Boardman, recommended that I get in touch with her and discuss a topic with her, which I kind of might get into in probably a few episodes' time. It's something not for today, but said get in contact with her, discuss this one thing that we were talking about. So, but like I said, I didn't know her. There's a lady on the circuit called Dawn Bailey as well. So when he said Karen Bailey, my first thought was Dawn Bailey. I was like, no, that's Dawn Bailey, and she's not in the UK at the moment. Anyway, so Karen Bailey was opening the show from the Midlands, and she gets on stage, and I was like, she has got them in her hands here. She is really tuned into what this room is, and what I mean by that is it was a very like working class crowd. And it was mainly a white audience, working class. Wigan is this kind of party town, like I was saying before, but not this kind of pretentious party town like a Miami or like a New Orleans, where it's all about like street this and that. Like it's more of like an old school kind of like old school drinking town. I would call Wigan. There's a Muslim who doesn't drink, right? What a way to describe something. But that's kind of what Wigan is, and she kind of just locked into the vibe of the room, because that's so important as an act, is being able to lock into the vibe of the room. Because as much as you want to be like, I can just go anywhere and be me and everyone's going to love me, sometimes you've got to just adjust some things slightly, and you can really plug into how they are and get a great result, just by making slight adjustments. And whatever adjustments she was, because I don't know, I've not seen her before, whatever she was doing up there, it was working, and it was working really, really well. And then the first act, Andy Askins went up. I might have gigged with this guy before. He might have been on a lineup with me before, because I recognised the name, and I kind of recognised him, but I couldn't put my finger on where we met before, where we gigged together before. Well, he's been doing comedy for years and years and years, this guy. And he comes on with a guitar, and he, like I say, he's opening the show. Now, he's doing a little bit of music, obviously, because he's got a guitar. Now, typically, comedians not somewhat struggle, but it can be a little bit more difficult to follow someone who's doing musical comedy, because musical comedy, like music, like I kind of said before about John, it's got its formula, and we all kind of know the formula of music, even if we can't describe it and explain it to you. When we kind of hear it, we know that when it's building to the chorus, and the fact that you do a verse and then a chorus, then a verse and then a chorus, typically with a lot of Western music, that's how it goes, right? So, and then they know that when you get to the end, you clap. Like, so there's a certain rhythm to what they do. And when you do musical comedy, that like the audience just lock into a lot easier than just typical stand-up, or not even typical stand-up, like any kind of stand-up some audiences might struggle with like locking into the vibe of it. Whereas music, everyone just locks in that little bit easier. So anyway, so he gets up and he does that. I thought he did a really good job. And I was watching him, I was like, this guy knows what he's doing. He's been doing this a very long time. I've got to get up there next. I wasn't feeling my best. I'd been sick last week. I struggled to talk for a lengthy amount of time without my nose starting to, without like everything building up, all the mucus and stuff building up on my chest and my throat and stuff like that in my mouth. And I'm thinking, am I going to struggle on stage to talk for 20 minutes? Because I was struggling to talk for 20 minutes for you guys. If you watched the last episode, I purposely didn't really advertise the last episode anywhere. So if you go on my page and you see that it's got lower views and everything else, that's why. It's because I purposely didn't advertise it. It has, obviously, it's like a lower amount of time, which should mean that it gets more views because of that, because in the algorithm it would do better if people, we don't want to talk about that stuff, but it should do better, right? But I didn't advertise it because I felt like if I'm clearing my throat during it, I thought I'll put it out because I've done it, but I won't advertise it, and I won't like kind of push people towards watching it, because if people just tune into that one and it's the only one they ever watch, they go, I don't like this, and in their mind they probably won't associate with me being ill. They'll just be like, I just didn't like that. He didn't talk fluidly. It didn't grip me, which you can, like as you can tell right now. I'm talking way more fluidly. Well, this is only like 14 minutes in. I've probably done way more talking in this than I did in the whole thing of that last one. So anyway, so it's the break, and do you know what? I think it's because like I played like a lot of sports when I was younger, that when I'm ready to get up, I'm doing stretches and stuff. I'm putting my arms across my body, you know, like this kind of one, like this. 1 second. like that. I'm like doing that, these kind of ones, and like, you know, like doing a lot of these body shakes and like loosening up my muscles and stuff like that, as if I'm gonna go play a sport. But I think it just gets me in a zone of like, in my mind of like, I'm prepared now, I'm ready, I've got into this zone of like ready to do it. And I do want to get more animated on stage and stuff like that, and like movements and like that kind of thing, because it adds an extra dimension to your performances, which at the moment, like, it's something that in the pandemic before it, I recognise that like this is something that I'm not good at. Whereas a friend of mine, like Carl Porter, is excellent at that stuff. Carl Porter's so good at that stuff. And obviously it's what helps like get him going with the slow motion goal celebration and all that. Carl's doing great things at the moment, all off the back of this one thing that he does so well. So many people seeing it, so many people liking it, locking into him as a character, him as a human being, and going, do you know what? I like what this guy's got to offer. I like that this guy's recognised this thing, and we're all on his side, which is an amazing thing to get so many people behind you off the back of that one thing. And then, but the thing is, that's where the hard work kind of starts, because once you've got that, you've got all their attention. Now you've got to prove it. You don't want to be a one-hit wonder. You don't want them to just kind of fade away. And his follower count goes up and up and up because he's consistently putting content out there and he's consistently making things that people enjoy. So, I'm about to go on stage. I'm stretching. I'm like, okay, let's get it going. And let's get the blood flowing through the muscles and all that stuff. Get up on stage, and I'll be honest, I felt like I was at about 70%. I'll be completely honest with you. Now, usually when somebody says that, it's because they didn't have a good gig. And I'll be honest, I felt I had a 70% gig. I didn't feel like I had an amazing gig, but I didn't feel like I had a bad gig whatsoever. I went up there and it went well. The audience were very receptive to it, and we all had a lot of fun. And I was getting a lot of, not just compliments, but like good feedback afterwards from the other acts who saw it, from the people who worked there, from people in the audience. One girl ended up coming up to me and she's like, are you off to the Frog and Bucket in Manchester now? And I was like, looking at her really confused, like, what, is she like after a lift back to Manchester or something here? And I was like, no. And she's like, oh, it's just because my cousin heard that you were on at the Frog and Bucket tonight, so he's bought tickets, but he's bought tickets for Manchester and not Wigan. And I was like, what? That was pretty mad that someone had, like, because every now and then, like, people buy tickets to me and they'll tell me, like, oh, I've come just to see you tonight, da, 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 da. And I love that. I love it so much because it's the kind of validation that you want as a stand-up comedian, of like getting up there and being able to do the job is one thing, but people parting with their hard-earned money, leaving the house, like I was saying earlier on in this podcast about like people don't go out as much anymore because it's easier to stay home. We've got all these things at home that we want to enjoy and all these comforts. The fact that people do all that stuff, make plans with people as well. Hey, come, I want to go to this comedy night. Excuse me. I want to go to this comedy night, see this comedian. The fact that people do that, honestly, it's the validation that I'm looking for, to be completely honest with you, because obviously getting up there and doing the job, that's amazing. But the fact that people on top of that go, I came for you. I've come and paid tickets. I've come out the arse tonight to see you. That's brilliant. But the fact that someone who bought tickets have gone to the wrong venue and they've gone to the one in the Manchester where I'm not at, I did feel a bit bad, but I'm not really in control of that. I guess you'd have to contact the Frog and Bucket. But I put a little thing out online. I said, listen, if this was you, mate, you know, your cousin's come up to me and told me, let me know. I'll get you free tickets to any show that I can, that I'm on. You know, usually they'll let me have a free ticket, and especially if I explain this. I'll get you a free ticket to something. So I will make it up to that guy, even though it wasn't my fault. I've got love for that. I've got love for the fact that you do that, and you come out to see me and stuff like that. All this kind of stuff. Oh, because it's very interesting, like this kind of world, because as much as we don't do it for other people, I mean, me personally, one of the main reasons I do stand-up is I've always felt like in life I've not had an outlet to kind of unapologetically be me, and stand-up is the place where I can kind of do it. Like I've tried, I talk about hockey a lot. I tried when I played hockey, and then some of the times it got me in trouble and that kind of thing. And I understand why it got me in trouble, because other people aren't understanding what I'm doing. They think, you know, I'm doing something against them by kind of being mischievous or whatever. Whereas in stand-up, it's just a perfect thing for me. And these podcasts, I love being on these as well because I get to talk in long format and open. And in these, I don't have to worry about specifically making you laugh. I can just talk and be me. And hopefully people enjoy it. And the feedback that I'm getting so far, touch wood, Joe Rogan, watch your back, I'm coming for you, is good. But as much as, like I say, as much as I do it for just that, being able to express myself and having that option, the fact that then people turn around and say, you're doing your thing and expressing yourself, and I like it, and I want to pay money to see it, that is amazing. That is just, it's class. It's a beautiful thing for me. Like, and I see it on like a bit of a hippie, trippy level, to be honest. But I love it. I love it so much. On top of that, every now and then people like recognise me and stuff. A guy stopped me in the street, like a bit older than me, maybe like in his mid-40s. And he stopped me, and I've got my headphones, and I set my headphones, he's like, and I like to my headphones, like, I seen you on TikTok, and I was like, oh, nice one. He's like, keep up the good work. I was like, oh, nice one, brother. Shook hands with him, and he went and that, but nice and easy, just like that. But that's one thing that people open with a lot, going, I see you on TikTok all the time, and then I feel like, well, they've not said that they like my stuff, they just say that they see me, they've not said that they follow me, they just say that they see me, like, I see awful stuff on the news, which I'll go get into in a bit later. I see awful stuff on the news. It doesn't mean I like it. Just because I've seen it and I know of it, doesn't mean that I like it. And when they go, I see you on TikTok, I'm like, I hope that's a good thing. But, you don't want to say that because it sounds sarcastic. I see you on TikTok. Well, I hope that's a good thing, mate. No. So I just go, oh, cool, man. What do you say? What do you reckon I should say to that? Drop me in the comments down below. My mate James is always on at me for that. He's always, oh, you should say this, you should be, oh. But like, can you imagine that someone goes, I see you on TikTok, and I go, oh, that's amazing, and he goes, no, I think you're an absolute clown, and I'm like, oh, brilliant, now, right, show me now in public. Maybe I'm a bit too guarded, maybe I should just allow myself to open up a bit. Anyway, so we're back in Wigan, right? We're back in Wigan, I go there, I do my job, I enjoy myself, like I say, I feel like I'm at 70%. I feel like I wasn't firing on all cylinders, but afterwards, the feedback I was getting, the compliments I was getting about my set, I was like, do you know what? I'm in a really confident place with stand-up right now, which is a dangerous place to be in because at the same time of being happy with my ability and happy with what I can do on stage, I also recognise that I'm not exactly happy with where I am in stand-up, and I've got a lot of work to do to get myself to a level where I can do this on like a bigger scale in front of more people on a more regular basis and stuff like that. So can you imagine you're at the Peter Kay level, because that's where we all want to be, let's be honest, where I'm performing to like 20,000 people in Manchester Arena, just being me, just talking about my life, and people are loving it. People are paying their hard-earned money to come and see me, and I get to earn a living by doing that in arena. That's where I want to be. And I know I've got a lot of way to go to do that. And that's part of the reason why I do social media, is because I want to just capture as many people who enjoy my stuff as possible, so that when it does come to me putting a show on and being like, listen, I've got a solo show, it's going to be me for an hour just chatting, then hopefully if it's close to the people and I get them at a good time financially for them, they can come out and see me, and we can all have a great time and stuff like that. Closing the show was Ray Bradshaw. Ray's a comic from Glasgow, and I've seen his stuff online and I like him. But on top of that, he was a very friendly guy. Now, comedians, a lot of them can be very good at like being friendly, but you can often get a sense of this person's being a little bit fake. But he felt really genuine when I was having a little bit of discussion with him. Like I say, we only had very limited discussions, and again, he wasn't even there for my set, but he paid me a compliment in that someone who was there said something to him, and he was like, I'll just say it. I won't say who it was, but he pointed at a woman. He went, she said you smashed it, like well done, mate. And I was like, but he said it in a lot more like friendlier way. You see, when I say it, like, she said you smashed it, it doesn't come across well. She said you smashed it. That's kind of more how he said it. But when I say I just feel a bit cringe just even repeating it. But it meant a lot to me that he wasn't there. Someone had told that to him, and then he felt like, do you know what, give the kid his flowers here. Yeah, I'll say that you did. And I say kid, we're about the same age probably, but he's just like obviously way deeper into stand-up than I am because he's been doing it for much longer. But yeah, that was the gig, and honestly, I really, really enjoyed it. Like I say all the time, Frog and Bucket is the place where I want to be. And I want to be that level where like I'm putting on solo shows at the Frog and Bucket and selling out multiple shows. Like my mate Jamie Hutchinson, How many did he sell? Like 6 or 7 on his last tour. He put 6 or 7 dates in the Frog and Bucket and sold them all out. Like, just incredible level of work from Jamie. Like, brilliant stuff. And I love to be at that level, you know, where I can sell one and then move it on, hopefully sell 2, 3, etc., etc. And that's, like I said, that's where I want to be as a stand-up comedian. So these are the kind of like the steps I want to be taking along my career and stuff like that. And that's what's kind of in my mind. My next gig is going to come up on Saturday. I'm going to be in Droylsden. Now, I've got a mate called Mark from Droylsden, but he's dark on all social media. He's just gone off everywhere. He's one of my mates for where I worked with John, who left just before John started, actually. So I've been mates with Mark for about 14 and 15 years or whatever. And I'd love to be able to message him like, Mark, I'm coming to Droylsden. I'm going to be there Saturday night. Come down. I'll get you in for free, mate. Just come. Let's spend a bit of time together. But I can't get hold of him. So I can't do it. And this is one of the reasons why I have social media. So like, people can reach out to me. I can reach out to people. Even when before I did stand up, like being able to just reach out to my old uni mates and old school friends and stuff like that, and have conversations and arrange meetups and stuff like that with them. It's great for doing that. But he's just gone off all social media. And I get it. I understand why people don't want to be on social media. It can be a horrible place to be. I found myself recently like just scrolling through and being like, it's making me sad. Like, some of the stuff I've been seeing on social media, it's like genuinely like making me. I mean, let's just talk about the big thing that's going on right now. Like, America are kind of on the verge of war with Iran. I'm not an expert on Iran, and I'm always happy to admit when I'm not an expert on something, because I feel like a lot of people like to kind of hardline camp themselves in a position. Either that, or they kind of get caught in a background and then they go, whoa, I'm not an expert. Whoa, don't listen to me. I never said that. I'm not an expert. This is just my opinion. But this is the thing is, I don't really have a strong opinion on this thing because I understand how complex it is. I understand that there's so many Iranians that were unhappy with the situation in Iran. I understand that there's so many Iranians that are unhappy that their country is under attack and that, like, do you know what, children died in a school. It was like a girls' school that got like 80 odd young girls perished because of like a mortar, or I don't even know what you even call the artillery. Like, so I know I don't understand it, and I know there's people on different sides within Iran who've got different opinions on it. And where I fall down on it, I don't know, but where I definitely fall down on it is I don't want a war. I don't want there to be any wars in the world. Of course I don't. What a ridiculous thing. I've seen online today. There's English people, British people, kind of like saying that the UK should join them in this war. And I'm like, are you joking me? Do you want to send our young working class lads and girls? Like, listen, you might not have any friends. You might not care about people who go to war. I had a couple of friends from school, yeah, and a couple of lads who were in my class in primary school, Carl and Chris. Makes like I sound that up, doesn't it? It makes like I really made that up. Carl and Chris. But no, Carl, anyone who watches it who went to school with me will know who Carl is and they'll know who Chris is. They know what I'm saying now is absolutely true. They both went and joined the army straight from school, and they ended up serving in like, I don't know if it was Iraq or Afghanistan, probably both, maybe, but I don't know. I don't know where they were, because I've not had those like long form conversations about where they were, because frankly, I don't know like what effects it's had on their lives, and I don't want to be, hey, for my own entertainment, do you want to tell me? I've actually thought I'd love to bring one of them on the podcast and just chat with them and just talk about their experiences, and even if I don't, because like I say, I don't agree with war, so them as ex-soldiers, they might have a completely different opinion of me, and even if I don't agree with them, these lads have been my friends since like 1991, like since early days, like 3 decades easily, like we've been friends. I don't see them as much anymore because we're adults and we drift apart and stuff, but I'd love to talk to them about stuff like this. But I say all that to say this, like, they're lads who I went to school with. One of them could have easily like perished over there, and I would have been like just at home being like so out of my mind with like what even to think of it, because I'd be so sad that my friend had passed. But it's a war and I don't want war to happen. But this, like, how can you go past your friend passing? Like, you'd have so many conflicting emotions, and that's kind of what's in my mind and stuff like that. So to see British people say, and like, none of these British people are the ones that are willing to sign up for the army, by the way. They're not the ones who are doing that. They're just willy-nilly going, oh yeah, we should join in because we should be pals with America. Regardless of who we should be pals with, we shouldn't be going to war. We shouldn't be like so gleefully be happy to send our working class boys and girls over to the Middle East to perish. Like that sounds like an awful thing. Like, why would you want that? Like, people don't think about these things. They just think about like it's like some kind of popularity contest. Oh, let's be friends with this country and do this. Like that's yeah. As much as that is how the world works, what's the real life implication of that on our streets in the UK? How many more veterans have to come from serving over there, and they come back here and they messed up, and like it's hard for them to rebuild their lives, and they feel betrayed by the system because they've gone over there and they've gone and given their lives to this country, and then they come back and they struggle to adapt back to the country, even just going into regular jobs and stuff like that. Again, it's just so confusing, and like I don't understand why people would so happily want war. They must just not care about the individuals that they'd be sending. Like, take Iran out of it. Take the Iranians out of it. Let's just look at our own compatriots. And by the way, a lot of these people are the kind of people who complain about immigrants coming to the UK. Well, what do you think going to war in Iran's going to do? Do you reckon they're all just going to sit there in Iran and go, yeah, sounds good, this. Yeah, I'll get my head blown off. That sounds good. No, they're going to flee. Of course they're going to flee. That whole region seems to be in like a bit of a flux at the moment. So you can't go to the next closest, safest country or whatever you want to call it. They can't just go there, can they? So where are they going to come? They're going to come here. And you're going to kick off even more so there's more immigrants come. Like, you're setting yourselves up for failure because we're going to put a stress on our veterans and our soldiers, and then put a stress on yourself because immigrants are going to come and you're going to get unhappy with them, you're going to get upset with them again. Like, it just feels like people just don't think besides this kind of like very basic viewpoint of their own life and their own little like bubble of where they live in, and it like just, I don't know, like I say, I'm not an expert on Iran. I don't know whether it's a good thing that they're having power change or not. I genuinely don't know what they've done. It sounds scary on the news when you listen to the stuff, doesn't it? But like I say, is the news giving you just a one-sided thing? Is it giving you a balanced thing? What does the opposite side news say? I don't know, but like I said, like it's worrying. It's worrying times anyway. Like I know someone, his mum's been very close to something that's like a building that's blown up in one of these countries. Again, I won't say which country because I don't want to give it away and like put any stress onto him in his regular life. But the fact that his mum was like basically next door in the building that's then like got on fire because like a debris landed on it or what. Again, I don't know the full information. I'd be so stressed if that was my mum. And like, this is people's real lives. And people are going to, like I say, it's going to drive more and more people to come here. Why wouldn't they come here? Why wouldn't they if that's what's going on over there? Like think about it. You do it yourself. You know, Mr. Ten Names has, just gone over to another country because there's a credible threats against him here. And a lot of people are like slagging him because of it. I understand why he's gone. I understand that if you're in the UK and there's people here trying to get after it, I understand why you'd want to go and find a safer place for you. Just like I understand people coming here, which is a safer place for them. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'm going way off. I feel like I should say all this to say that. I feel like maybe I should stop the podcast and just start doing some press-ups because maybe I'm going to end up being drafted and sent over there because I'm worrying about it, man. I'm worrying about like how everyone's going to react to it in terms of if we go to war, what's going to be the fallout that happens on our streets. Not just like I say, I don't want this to happen to the Iranian people. I want people all over the world to have like a lovely life. But then I definitely think of the reactionary thing that happens on our streets. All these people who can claim to care about. I mean, I'm rambling about that now. I'm gonna move on. Do you know one person I love on social media, by the way? There's a guy on social media called John Kiriakou. And he's a CIA agent from America. He spent a lot of time in Pakistan. So I've seen a load of his clips popping up on social media because obviously I do like a lot of hashtag British Pakistani and all that stuff. So a lot of this stuff comes in my algorithm. And I love his stories. I genuinely do love, like, as much as I just said all then, not believing in war and stuff like that. This is a guy who's working for the CIA in the kind of, obviously, well, do they work in the war effort? I guess it's all part of like a broader thing. His job was more to kind of hunt down all the people who like done 9/11 and stuff like that. And I find it endlessly fascinating I love watching his little clips, and I love watching him on like longer form podcasts. I think he went on Joe Rogan, Diary of a CEO. He went on the Mad Dat podcast, which is the two of the lads from the Have a Word podcast, Carl and Harry, I think the other lad's name is. They do a podcast together. And they had John Kiriakou on, and I was like, I've got to watch this. Like, I've known about the Mad Dat podcast, I've seen it pop up, never listened to it before. Boom, seen the John Kiriakou one, had to watch that. The guy's stories of like what they would do to help capture like all these people who like helped to commit these terrible attacks. Very, very interesting. And also like the day-to-day stuff, the fact of like how he was as a spy and all this kind of stuff. Find that really fascinating. And I wonder like, would I make a good spy? I don't think I wouldn't make a good spy, to be honest with you. I think I'd be a pretty terrible spy. Like I'm there and I'm just like trying to be like undercover, and then someone drops like I'm in a cafe or something, and then someone drops a plate, and I'm like, wait! And everyone's like, wait a minute, I thought, what? Why is this guy who speaks Arabic to us with a big long beard? Why is he just acting like a British person on holiday? I'd have to keep the beard though as well, wouldn't I? I'd have to keep the beard, which I'm planning on shaving this, by the way, guys. This is going in a few weeks. It's looking all right now, actually. It's looking all right. It doesn't grow as thick as I'd like it to up here, though. I'd like it to be a bit thicker up there, but you know, I'm a bit thick up here, I suppose. Yeah, so I've not had a haircut for a while either. It's getting a bit long. You see that? I find it interesting that people get their haircut like every week. I don't have the vanity for that. Like, I feel like I wonder if my life would be better if I was a little bit more vain. Like if I just had my haircut and I'd get in the gym a little bit more and I'd pump up the guns and all that stuff. Would my life be better? I don't know, but I do think about that every now and then. This is one thing I wanted to talk about, actually. My top places to eat in Manchester. Because I think I discussed it on Bolton in one of the early episodes, but I didn't discuss in Manchester my favourite places to eat. Now, I've not eaten in Manchester for a long time. So it's kind of got me spinning mentally of like, what are the places that I like to eat? Now, I'm going to start with my classic. I'm going to start with Archie's. I love going to Archie's. Now, Archie's started, the first time I knew of it, I think there was only one. It was on Oxford Road. Now, there's two on Oxford Road. There's one at Piccadilly. There's one in the Arndale. I think there's one in the airport now as well. There's loads of... I mean, you're not going to go all the way to the airport just for a burger, but if you are there, grab one. But when I'm gigging in Manchester now, I love nipping out to Archie's. Like if I'm doing a double, if I'm doubling a gig, I love doing this. So check this out, right? If I'm doubling a gig, I'll go and do one. I'll leave that gig. I'll go grab myself a burger from Archie's, yeah? I'll go and get the good burger. When you go on their computer screen, you can knock off certain things if you don't want them. So I go, good burger, boom. Knock off the relish, knock off the tomatoes, knock off the gherkins. I just want cheese, lettuce, and meat on me bread. That's all I want there. I get that. I go over to the sides menu, fiddle around with that. Oh, cheesy tots with jalapenos. Give it to me. Now, these jalapenos, they're not really spicy jalapenos. It's more of like a neutralised kind of flavour, so they're not mega on the heat. But I love getting that. I love getting that burger, and I love getting those cheesy tots. Then, I'll either eat it on the way to the gig, or I'll sit down at the back of the gig and I'll eat it. Now, I've come a cropper on this before. I've come a cropper on this when I went to Creatures Comedy Club. Because bear in mind, I've eaten this there loads of times, and I was very apologetic, and I did apologise, and it was my fault. But one time, I finished the gig, and I forgot I'd eaten there, and I'd left half my food there, and I got a message off, I won't say who, I won't say exactly who it was, but I got a message off someone from there, and they were they were disappointed. That's probably the best way to put it, because they probably were just disappointed, being like, what the hell, mate, like, we don't mind you eating here, but you've left your rubbish here. Like, just throw it away, mate. Like, that's all you need to do. And they were completely right. But I felt like an absolute piece of garbage myself. The fact that I didn't throw this rubbish out. So yeah, I've not eaten it back there again because I don't want to do the same. Because can you imagine? I do it twice, and I go, yeah, my bad, and I forget again. So I've not gone back there with it again. But either way, touch wood, I've not forgotten my food anywhere else. I've eaten it all, and then I've taken it with me and thrown it in the bin. So I'm big on that. I am big on cleaning up after yourself. And it isn't their job to clean up after me. It isn't. It's not their job. But like I say, I felt bad that I'd done it, and I felt bad that like I disappointed them as well. Because you don't want to do that. You don't want to be that guy who's like, oh, that he's always leaving his rubbish all over the place. It stinks. It's food. Da, 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 da. I don't know if the people working there, they might be vegans. They might be like, I don't really want to touch that. I understand that. I understand if they're a vegan, they don't want to touch my meaty bloody wrappers and stuff like that. I'd 100% I'd get it. I'd 100% get it. And my cheesy tots as well. Second place. That's even going to be like something quick to eat. Second place. Now this is the kind of place where if an old mate of mine messages me and is like, oh Adam, you fancy going for like, do you fancy meeting up, or I want to come to one of your gigs? Like, let me know when you're in Manchester, we'll get food first. Any one of my mates asks me for food and it's a sit down meal and we've got enough time, I'm probably going to recommend this place. I've gone there with my sister in the past. I've gone there with a mate even from Iceland, with old work colleagues, and I'm talking about Akbar's. Now, if you live elsewhere in the country, you might have an Akbar's. So I feel like they've got one in Leeds and a couple else dotted around the place. Akbar's is quality. It's a curry house. So that's what you want to get from there. You want to go get a lamb karai, a gosht karai. When they come, how do you want it? I want it Apna style. I want it Apna style. What does Apna style mean? Apna means ours, you know. I want it our style. I want it spicy, mate. Put spices. I don't want it blow my head off. I'm not asking for it extra hot. We don't have it extra hot at home. We have it spicy. We have it spicy. I want it Apna style. Yara? Apna style minude. That's what I want. Give me Apna style. That's what I want. I'll go and I'll sit there with me mate. We'll get a hanging naan. We will get a hanging naan together. Now, if you don't, you've seen the hanging naan. If you've not seen the hanging naan, it's easy to describe. Metal pole, little ridges like that. Naan is hanging off those ridges. You pick it off the thing. What a great gimmick. Love it. Can't get enough of the hanging naan. We get one to share. Doesn't matter who I go with. Doesn't matter. My sister, my mates, old mates, whatever. That's what we're getting. We're going to Akbar's. We're getting a curry. We're having a naan. Don't tell me you don't like curry either. Don't tell me that. I'm not into that. I'm not having any of that. We're having a curry, lad. We're having a curry. Now, this is a big one. Now, this is a recommendation for you guys. You're in Manchester. You're trying to impress a girl a little bit. You're trying to impress a man a little bit. You're trying to impress father-in-law, mother-in-law. Doesn't matter who it is. You want to impress someone a little bit. You want to go for food somewhere. There's a steak. You can go to either of those two places. It's fine, but you want to go really more fancy. That side of things. There's a steakhouse about 2 doors up from Akbar's. What's its name? Can't remember off the top of my head. Have I been there a few times? Been there a few times. Have I been there by myself like a loner loser? Absolutely I have. I was bougie. When I started stand-up comedy, I was going to the open mics. I used to work in Salford. I'd leave work 5 o'clock, get into Manchester, open mic start, sign up is at 7, the show will start at 7:30 or 8 o'clock, right? Depending on the one. I'd go into Manchester. I'd go have a steak by myself. I was an open mic comedian making £0 getting up on that stage that night because anyone could get up and do it. It's just for practice. It's just to see if your jokes are any good. I'm eating about 45 quid steak and mash beforehand, and I'm thinking to myself, like, wow, hopefully I'll make it big one day. And this is a story from the thing. Like, I always knew I'd make it. I always knew it. I used to eat steak at fancy restaurants, before open mics, and that will be my story, and I'd love to tell that story, and hopefully I do. Otherwise, it's just that guy was deluded. That guy used to, we used to come to the open mic, used to go for an expensive steak beforehand, spend more money on that one steak that he made in his first year doing stand-up comedy. So, yeah, you want to go there, you want to get a steak. You know what steak is, you know what to do. You want to get peppercorn sauce, mushroom sauce, one of the two. Maybe steak cut chips, maybe mash. If it's skin on mash, I don't know. Maybe like a broccoli kind of side. I think they do like a sauteed vegetables, maybe. Oh, I could do with a steak right now, actually. I could really do with a steak right now. Number 4. Now we're going out of the city centre now. We've left the city centre. We're on Stockport Road. In fact, is it still on Stockport Road or is it fully moved? Either way, we're going to Nawabs. Nawabs is the kind of place you want to go. If there's maybe like a big group of you and you can't really decide what kind of food you want, so you're going to go to Nawabs. It's a halal buffet. Halal. Habibi, it's halal. You're going to go to Nawabs. I think it's at the Pyramid now, exclusively. You know, the old, was it the Co-op Pyramid in Stockport? Either way, that's where you want to go. You want to go to Nawabs, you want to go to that place. If it's there now, fair enough, but it used to be Stockport Road. You want to go there. Big group of you. I'm talking 6, 8, 9, 10 of you. The boys are going, the boys and the girls, the guys and their wives. Doesn't matter. You want to go there. It's buffet. You want to focus on the starters. Fish starter. Lamb seek kebab starter. Put some sauces on there. Eat at a slow pace. Relax yourself. Don't overdo it straight away. Don't overfill your stomach and then you go, oh, I can't have any more. No. Pace yourself. Go well. Behind the till, they have a request menu. Gratis. Free. You don't have to pay a single bean to get the extra stuff behind the till. We're talking lamb chops. We're talking nihari. All kinds of curries. All kinds of rices on the front, by the way. You got your chicken wings. I don't eat chicken, by the way, guys. I don't eat chicken. Apologies in advance. So there's no chicken on my menu today. There's no chicken on my menu ever. Go to know. Oh, I need to message the boys, you know. Thomas, Ryan, Philippe, Daniel, Jake. Tony's in Hong Kong, so he ain't going to come. Any of the other old... Oh, I'd love to meet up with the old hockey boys from uni. Carl, come on, lad. I need to meet up with them all. We need to go to Nawab's buffet one night. That'd be a beauty. Me and the boys going to Nawab's buffet Saturday night. Maybe going to Manchester a little bit, relax in a bar, listen to a bit of good music. Obviously, I'm not drinking. I'm a Muslim. I don't mind hanging around with the boys, though. If they're being reasonable, I'll hang around with the boys. If they're being reasonable, have a bit of a good time. People say that Muslims don't like assimilate and stuff like that. It is me talking about like going to bars and performing in bars earlier on. I never finished my story, by the way, where I'm gigging this weekend. I'm gigging this weekend in Droylsden. It's for Gag and Bone Man Comedy. If you want to come, just type in Gag and Bone Man Comedy online. You'll find the website. And then you can just get tickets for Droylsden. I'm going to be on opening the show, I think. Am I opening the show? I think I'm opening the show. Joe, I actually got offered. I got a message by someone who was pretty big in like the British Pakistani social media space, British Muslim social media space, and they asked me if I want to basically come and do content with them, but it's that morning that I'm going to be in Droylsden, and this is down in London. So I basically messaged them back, and I was like, listen, I can't do it. I get it, if you can't pay me, that's fine, because I get it's a collaboration kind of thing to do content together and all that. Helps me, helps you. But I can't come to London for no money and cancel a gig where I'm getting money. I can't do that. So let me know next time you want to do it. Next time you've got the space that you need. Let me know the date. I'll try and get a gig in London. I can double that up. Then I can go perform in London. Maybe see one of my old schoolmates. Maybe go see Sean. Maybe go meet up for a bit of food with Sean. That might be nice. And then I can do that. And do the gigs and that. And then I can come back afterwards and kind of get the most out of my book. But yeah, unavailable for it. But it's something that I didn't really want to do. And it's something that when they messaged me, I thought, it could be really good actually. It could be something that's really fun. Anyway, number 5. I'll give you 4 halal options so far. Number 5 is a place that doesn't exclusively do halal, and it is let's go with Rudy's Pizzeria. Rudy's pizzas are banging. I'm a massive pizza guy. Although I only eat halal food, pizzas are often halal. You know, the materials that make it up are all permissible. You can eat this thing. It's not a problem. You can go there. You can have your pizza. So what my number 5 would be is go there. I don't think they do a seafood. I'm a seafood fan. I'm a seafood number 1. Number 2, I'm a veggie hot. And number 3, like just regular cheese. I think I've got to go regular cheese there because I don't think they do seafood, and I don't think they do like a veggie hot. So then I'm going to go for that. I'm going to go for a pizza with the boys, probably. Not anyone. It's casual hangout. Kind of place you take your long-term girlfriend. Maybe not your first date girlfriend. Long-term girlfriend. You go there, go, listen, love, I'm going to treat you to something nice tonight. We're going to go for a delicious pizza. You go there, meet up together, have a great pizza, have a great time. Rudy's Pizza, me number 5. What I was going to say with number 5 was Vapiano. Have you been to Vapiano? Vapiano, another Italian. Don't specialise in pizza. Vapiano's kind of like a canteen environment. You go in, they give you like a credit card kind of a card. You go to the till and you say like, right, I want, I don't know, spaghetti bolognese, for example, even though it's not halal, I wouldn't order it, as you know. Spaghetti bolognese, I'll have spaghetti. You go, they'll go, okay, put your card on there. You put your card on, it loads onto it how much you need to pay. You keep going up there, you put as much food as you want on that thing, and then when you're on your way out, you pay up then. So me and the lads I mentioned before, Filippo's not there. It was Thomas's stag do, me, Ryan, Daniel, Jake, the boys. We're in Hamburg for Thomas's stag do. I'm his best man, I'm organising it. I book out time for food, but I've not planned anywhere to eat. So we're wandering around trying to find anywhere. We find like a spud place over here and somewhere called Vapiano over here. We go, Vapiano? Sounds Italian. Should we go here? Boys go, yeah, we'll go there. We go there. Turns out it's a German restaurant that does Italian food. So it's a German business, should I say, but an Italian restaurant. So it's owned by Germans, made by Germans, but it's Italian food. I guess like how Pizza Hut sells pizza, which is an Italian food, but it's an American business. But then again, the kind of pizza they do is American pizza. Anyway, we go to Vapiano. We was only there for like 3-4 days in Hamburg. We ended up going to Vapiano twice because it's such an easy option. And again, because it's that canteen system, if you want pasta, you go here. You want pizza, you go over there. There's probably like a different option over there for maybe like a meat option. I don't know. I didn't go there. I went and got a pizza, then I think I got a pasta, like a veggie pasta the other time. No, the prawn pasta, that's what they did. I like the prawn pasta because I remember not liking the fact that they did like whole cherry tomatoes in the thing. Because I don't really like cherry tomatoes, but I like a pepper grinder, grind up loads of pepper all in it. Oh, I love that. And there's one in Manchester, there's a Vapiano in Manchester, so it is one that I like. In fact, I've been there with my sister as well, actually. We've been to Vapianos as well. Pre-pandemic, we've not been out to eat for a while, actually. So maybe I should message my sister and be like, hey, listen, show me for food. Show me for food one day. Should we go after work and go get a little bit of food? Shall we do that, love? And she'll go, as long as you're paying, and I'll be like, right, I guess I'm paying then, aren't I? Anyway, that's brother-sister relationship, isn't it? Especially when you're the big brother and you're like trying to socialise with her and like, come on, we'll go out for food, just me and you, we'll catch up, we'll hang out. And she's like, yeah, I'm up for that. As long as it's on you. And I'm like, okay, I guess it's on me then, isn't it? And then I'm trying to make conversation and she's like, not really bothered. More bothered about taking pictures of her food and messaging her mates. And I'm like, yeah, good catch up, sis. Anyway, that's what I should do soon. And catch up with her probably. Now me talking about all this food, I should take her. Right, I guess that's the podcast, guys. We've made it to the 50+ minute mark. So I've enjoyed myself talking tonight, much more than I enjoyed myself last week when I was struggling with my chest and stuff like that. Again, if any requests, anything that you want me to talk about, someone mentioned a Q&A, so if you do have any questions, just pop them in the comments and that, and I guess I can answer them in the next one. But yeah, otherwise, thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Love you very much. Adam and War out.